I wanna be the very best. No one's ever was. You catch them as my real test. I train them as my cause. Pokemon! It is I, Tolstoy, looking like the bum that I usually am, but this time having returned victoriously from my first Otakon in DC. I think, did I do a review? If I didn't even do a review of the last Otakon in Baltimore. I was actually there in 2016. I kind of have this yearly tradition of dressing up as like a Pokemon trainer, because in essence it's like your hiking backpack plus like a Poke plush on there. I didn't know that they made anything that wasn't just Pikachu, because it's all they make is Pikachus. Just Pikachus. Lots of Pikachus. Anyway, I actually found this on Amazon, and I thought it would fit well in the back of my mystery ranch, and so, you know, just like that together, and I was like, hey, I'm a Pokemon trainer. I actually went with a couple other people who kind of did the same thing. Our plans changed a little bit as time went on. We've been planning this for like more than a year, and my buddy went as a like fisherman Pokemon trainer with like the, you know, the he had a Magikarp that was kind of chilling in what looked like a little cooler or like a tackle box, and his girlfriend went as a Pokemon breeder that had like, you know, the apron and the, you know, the bandana and the work gloves, you know, more like kind of like a Pokemon ranch hand or something. And at least 3 or 4 people noticed her. Like no one else was just like, hey, I get what your thing is. I mean, like a couple people stopped and were like, hey, look, that's an Ivysaur. But I was actually really happy to have found this Ivysaur, and I kind of thought it was symbolic because like there's a Bulbasaur on my dashboard. And I feel like I've made a lot of progress in my life since the last few Otakons that have passed, and so that's why I was happy to go, and why I wanted to have that on my backpack. I think I'm going to try to set it free now. Release. In the Pokemon universe, it just means death. So, yep, I have to find a place for him. I don't think it's the dashboard, but anyway. We all decided to crash at a motel somewhere in southern Maryland and take the metro down into DC to the convention center where they were holding it. They held it there last year, they're holding it there this year, and for the foreseeable future they're going to continue to hold it there. For those of you who maybe aren't up to date on your Otakon news, the Baltimore Convention Center, I guess, was too small. Was too small to keep hosting it every year. I think in 2016, I think they bumped the cap at like 35,000. That might have been 2015, so don't quote me on that. Yeah, I think they bumped the cap at like 35,000 before it would have been a fire hazard to have any more people in the Baltimore Convention Center. So, scuttlebutt is that they are expanding the convention center so that they can, you know, eventually bring it back home to Balmer, which is home. It's home. But anyway, you know, hey, DC. And I can't even say that DC wasn't cool. Washington, DC is pretty freaking cool looking. I actually have to admit, I haven't played around with DC too much. I almost don't even miss Balmer. The train was pretty straightforward. Yeah. The motel that we opted for was like the second cheapest in the area. Didn't take us one night to find out why.
Back and forth from friendly and
Yeah, friendly to hostile. I can't get a grip. I don't know what drugs they're on, but Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was the fun part of town. Yes, sirree, Bob. But that's okay. I have dots in subterfuge. I have dots in Streetwise. Everyone's like, no, you don't. And I'm just like, okay, fine, whatever. So we rode the DC Metro in, which was pretty cool. The feeling of getting up to the zenith is usually kind of trying to capture it. Yes, we are underneath it. Inside of a building. Welcome to DC. Right. Let's do it. Some cyberpunk shit. Yeah, for some reason, all of Washington, D.C. does not come in focus. Or maybe it's my shitty cameraman. Cameramanship. Yeah, maybe it's that. So the first thing that we noticed was that the line for people with badges and without badges was 1. which was a little weird, but okay. It moved pretty fast. The problem is that my buddy and his girlfriend had signed up for a special panel that cost extra, and they had to be there early, and we were running low on time, and it turned into some kind of, like, cool Mission Impossible run through the crowded market to get to the place in time, clip the blue wire mission. But first we had to get registered.
Yeah, which is different. Okay, where do we get badges? We need badges like ASAP. Oh, maybe up there? Badges?
Badges are right over there.
Alright, rock and roll.
After that, I kind of just tooled around, got lost a lot. Well, it looks like I've already lost to my party. They wanted to go to a panel that I wasn't gonna go to. I followed simple instructions, just to be waiting for them outside of the room. When they got finished, figured I'd just like chill out, do whatever. But I couldn't follow the simple instructions given to me by staff. I must now reconnoiter with the map. This is no different than when I go hiking. Tried to get my bearings.
I have no idea where the fuck I am. Oh, fuck. That just tangled my fear of heights a little bit. Huh. Well, there's a sign dead ahead that says dance. Unfortunately, I have no idea where that panel is my friend is at. We keep receiving texts from him, but... Is this an anime?
And watched some of their animes in their video rooms that they got set up. Isn't that what you do at some kind of anime convention?
Yeah, I have no idea what that actually was. That was some weird anime. Anime is getting weirder as time goes on. Don't you lie to me.
I was waiting for my friends. We were at the panel, and I checked out some of their animes that they were playing. The first one left me utterly confused. Then I went and I watched that classic there, Escaflowne. I never checked that out because that was part of like some entertainment block, like UPN bought it up right around the time that Kids WB bought up Pokemon. And it's actually pretty decent and coherent. Classic anime is better than this new little Uzi Vert and the Malone posts. Much better. One of the things that I did while I was wandering around was I checked out a lot of the cool cosplays they had going on there.
We got steampunk Pokemon trainer up in here with the Magnemite. Look at that steampunk Pokeball. How'd you make that shit?
It's made all out of freaking pretty much. I found some gears. It's actually a toy ball from the dollar store and a little bit of glue. And that's it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Look at that. Look at all that. That's what I'm talking about.
You look awesome.
Thank you. So do you.
Wait, what? Like from the Vine? There's a DBZ squad. A lot of DBZs.
Say my name.
You're Heisenberg.
You're goddamn right.
Bitch!
So one of the memes that really cracked my buddy up that, I don't know if he really believed me or not, I think it was a litmus test for how many people were actually there who had been to the original conventions, was Butt Scratcher. I just tried to scream, Butt Scratcher. There's no one else from I think no one is from the original convention series in Baltimore, like, because nobody yelled back Butt Scratcher, that's just plain wrong. Anyone who is an old head in the Otakon community can attest to the fact that at Otakon, if you should yell out, Butt Scratcher, that someone else has to yell out, Butt Scratcher. And it kind of just carries on that way. I think that it revealed to me a suspicion that a lot of the people at the convention were from Virginia, Delaware, but not from Maryland, which is weird. A couple of my friends who I hit up, I said, you coming to Otakon? They had a bunch of, I got a lot of no's, and the biggest reason was the distance. And I'm like, boy, like, we drove 6.5 hours. Even more, because we tacked on a trip to Ocean City. Because we dumb. Well, I'm dumb. And I'm stubborn. So. But, yeah, I definitely noticed there was kind of a demographic shift. It's not a bad thing. They definitely were still cool. It was better than Crystal City, Virginia. It was way better than Anime USA. So eventually we made our way on to the massive dealer's floor. One of the cool things on the dealer's floor was the Ocarina booth. It's there every year. I was glad to see it return. I think for Otakon 2015, I'm not going to pull it off this rack because I don't care, but I have like one of those little necklace ocarinas, and I'm pretty sure it was the same people. It was the same. Oh, it was Otakon 2016. That's right. Anyway, yeah. So they had a booth there.
Is there anything in particular you want to point out any day?
You know, they had a few, not as many, but they had a few musicians actually peppered around the convention center, which is really something always that you gotta see at a convention. I played a game of spin the giant, you know, spinner ring and see if you can win a free spinner. You had to hit a critical. See if you got this. There is no spoon. And I didn't. Yes, I did not. There was also a lot of really cool vehicles on the dealer's floor.
Subaru. Nice, Subaru. I want a Subaru really bad. Yeah, here we go.
Are the ringiest, the bells are the ringiest, hearts the singiest, the arms the clingiest way.
I don't think they were for sale. I don't care. I should have stole them. One of the things that I noticed was that furry costumes seem to be getting more advanced.
That's a fairly impressive costume, man. It's interesting that you can get it to do that.
The sword game there was very lacking. It had one table, one C3 table, with some crappy swords.
Shrapnel!
Yeah, but if I recall, Otakon usually has at least one booth that deals real swords. Or maybe that was one of those ones like back in 2012. I remember back in 2012 they even had a cutting demonstration. Yes, good. Wasn't there for it.
Well, they closed down the dealer's hall. Now we're probably gonna look for some food.
1 a.m.
Oh, so the metro doesn't stop until 1 a.m.?
Yeah.
Good. We won't get stranded in DC.
And the next day we went in. We were gonna go. We did visit the Artist's Alley. Didn't get any footage, obviously, because like, don't do that. It's the Artist's Alley. Oh, I did buy another precious piece of art that belongs to a video game series that is near and dear.
Haley. Haley.
Was near and dear. Yeah. Anyway, we spent most of our time on Sunday at the game room. The game room had a dancing dinosaur. Yes, it did. I was looking for Tekken, because I wanted to school my young counterpart in the ways of the fighting game. But the last fighting game that I've played was Tekken 2. And it shows. Yeah, that was a guy we were playing against that, man, he had his own controller, so that was lambs to the slaughter right there. Buddy did better than me.
You chose M. Bison. Of course! Fuck, dude.
Yeah. I remember back in 2016 Otakon, it might have been 2015. Oh, it must have been 2015, right before I left Maryland. That was when I found out about Pokken Tournament, and that was pretty great. Pokken Tournament. And I remember some like 8-year-old kid wanders up to the you know, the thing to start playing, and he's like, "Can I play you?" And I was like, "All right," you know. And I've never played anything on the Wii U because, you know, Nintendo is... Anyway, so the kid, you know, he's like, "I gotta warn you, you know, I've played professional something." He's like, "I've played the what do they call it, the tournament circuit." And I was like, "Alright, kid, whatever, I want to play Gengar." And he's like, "But I always main Gengar." And I was like, "That's fine, then I'll play Sneasel." Proceeded to mash buttons and beat his shit. And I remember the kid like was using pseudo-profanity and flipping out, and it was actually super entertaining. And he was going, and I quote, "What the butt? What the butt?" And he kept saying, "What the butt?" instead of "what the fuck." And after I finished schooling his shit, I was like, "All right, man, here you go." I passed off to my friend. I was like, you play the kid, you know? So the kid proceeds to, you know, to win, and I assumed that my buddy was like letting him win. And I was like, "Hey, man, that was a cool thing that you did, letting that kid win to get his confidence back." And he's like, "No, I was trying. You're just uncannily good at this." And I was like, "Nah, man, just button mashing. It's all just button mashing, man." But yeah, that didn't work this time. We played some cool rhythm games. There was one that involved kawaii dancing. Which I unfortunately decided to try out. There was also some sort of weird VR thing. It was
Are you ready?
My body is ready! Like a VR shooter that I really was interested in for tactical reasons, but there was a massive line. We held out pretty long, but they were people who were running the booth, I guess don't understand how lines work, and there were people who were holding places for their friends in line and skipping people in line. Nah, fam, that's weird, don't do that, you know? That's, so, I left, I bugged out, I was like, okay, then, goodbye. We had someplace else we had to be. The one weird thing about the convention this year is that, things closed earlier. Specifically Sunday, the con closed at 3, and we had to be at the dealer's floor. And I had to be at the dealer's floor because we had been on the dealer's floor earlier and we had seen a sign that says, need help, free shit. Maybe not exactly phrased like that, but man, I ain't above some manual labor. So we showed up, we helped pack up. It was pretty brutal. I was breaking out a sweat. I actually strained my back a little bit. When I went into the gym on Monday, I started doing the, I don't know what you call that, what's that called, the oblique torque, oblique press machine or whatever, which I'm not saying that I already have it set at the highest setting that it comes at, but I do. And yet, all of a sudden my back, I feel like the muscles in my back going like, nope, and I'm like, oh shit, so. But yeah, it was me and my buddy, my crew, our party, some down-to-earth cross-playing dude and his girlfriend, and third guy.
I switched from Apple to Android. I've never had a 4-person online game.
That we switch out.
I don't have a great reaction there.
Like, but we're gonna...
Butt scratch up!
But those are lifelong memories I'll never forget, even though I forgot your names already, but you were cool. Yeah. So, that was pretty much it. It was a good con. I would still say that it's only about like 60% the power of usual Otakon. And I talked to some people there and they were like, yeah, the management for the DC Convention Center kind of doesn't really know what it's doing yet. They're still getting a feel for it. This and that. Maryland people will have to learn to adjust, or maybe it'll go back to Baltimore. You know, I don't really know. But I still have a positive feeling about all this. I feel like maybe if it starts getting more epic as it used to be, then it'll be a new beginning for people like me and my party, and it'll be like we were on the ground floor of building something up, which is kind of cool. And speaking of which, now it's time for me to shill! Man, it breaks my soul to say this. I put up a Patreon. I will put a link somewhere down there, and if you go to Patreon, I've set it up so that you can donate to me, and I really hate saying all this because I just want you to know this is not my job, this is not my day job. I'm going to keep making videos and about the things specifically that I like, and nothing else. You know, if I want to make a video about spit shining my boots, I will. Pro tip, I did. I lost the footage. It was kind of funny because my neighbors came out of the back porch and started arguing, so I'm just like talking about like whatever, and I was like, you know, I was actually mink oiling a pair of hiking boots, and halfway through they just come out onto the balcony and start arguing, and I'm just like, so. But I feel awkward because when you start getting money involved, I feel like that kind of creates a situation where it's like, it's not about the music anymore, and I always want it to be about the music. And I also, at the same time, want to let you know that I'm not just going to take your money and blow it all on hookers and blackjack. With hookers and blackjack, I'll start my own convention. Actually, forget the convention. Yeah, and I'm not even sure how many people are going to donate. So it really all depends on how much I get. You know, if just 25 of you donate $1 and I get 25 bucks, you know, I'll spend it on some stupid portable video game thing, and I'll review it action style, like you like a grilled cheese sandwich that Mom makes for you while you're going to your anime convention, and try not to think about how much your college student loan debt is. And then I'm going to take that thing to the shooting range in Uwari, and then I'm going to shoot it. I don't know if they're going to allow me to do that, but we gonna try. We gonna try, son. Anyway, so posted up a link. You know, hey man, if you don't want to donate, I don't even blame you. Man, I wouldn't donate to me. Look at me. But some of you have said that you want to do it, so I want to keep making these videos despite how shitty YouTube has become. I wish there was a better platform out there, but I was gonna do this stuff anyway. Sometimes the things that happen to me in my life and on my bizarre adventures are just too strange not to get footage of. And so I'm just gonna keep making these videos, and I guess if you want to foot me $1 so that I can, you know, I don't know, get stuff that's more germane to your guys' interests. And maybe if I were to get big enough, I might get some stuff that's more germane to mine. Alright, until next time, see you later, Space Cowboy.